Nothing contained in this podcast should be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. This content does not represent our respective employers and is purely the opinion of the podcast hosts. We are not your personal medical providers. Sorry, friends. So, if you have concerns or seeking a diagnosis or treatment, please seek individual advice from a healthcare provider in your area. We are not liable for any risks associated with acting upon the information contained in this podcast. This is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only, so enjoy the ride.
Please drink responsibly and in moderation. Before drinking, please be sure to be of the legal drinking age for your country. We do not encourage the misuse of alcohol.
Welcome to Medical Media Mixer, the perfect cocktail. I'm Nicole Peniston, psychologist.
And I'm Tara Prisco, physician assistant. Hey, lady. What's up?
All the things. It's been a minute since we recorded a legit episode.
Destroy my drink. See,
it looks slightly phallic, but go on. I think the stick is too long.
Yeah, I should have used a shorter glass and cut the stick, I think.
That's what she said.
But I did put glitter in it.
I can see the glitter. It's very
My layers aren't as layery on camera as
the layers aren't layering. That's okay.
Red and blue, and then it's kind of purpley in the middle, but it doesn't show up well on camera. But
that's
hopefully it tastes good. We will find out.
Yeah.
So anyone who's listening to this episode, I do suggest I used a very tall, skinny glass because it said highball glass? Isn't that a highball glass? But for the ounces, I felt like it would have been better in a shorter glass or double the recipe. So doubling is always good.
Is a highball the same as a double old fashioned?
Old fashions are wide, but I don't know what a double old fashioned is.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If it's like taller.
No idea.
Maybe I just made something up.
I mean, we have a cocktail podcast, but we don't know the cocktail terminology.
We're learning and we're growing.
I learned about a coupe glass this year, so
you did, and you're never turning back.
I know. Yeah. So let's catch up for a moment before we get into the silliness of why I have a phallic-looking drink. So I haven't seen you. We haven't spoken.
Yeah, the last time we spoke was via text when you asked me for a gift for one of your children, which I do have for you. I just said I have it. I didn't say what it was. Does she listen to the podcast?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yes, but I was in Costa Rica, which was cool.
Nice. How long were you there for?
6 nights, but really the whole last day we were there mostly because our flight was until like 5 something in the evening. So it really was like a full 7 days. It was really nice. We flew first class because we didn't have children. So the cost wasn't so crazy, which was really nice. And the hotel we stayed at was beautiful. And we got ourselves a nice big fancy room because again, like screw it, like, spoil ourselves. It was like literally a 40-foot deck, and I'm not exaggerating, with a little plunge pool at the end. And I could just sit there, and there was like wildlife, like, parrots flying by. And
wow.
It was pretty neat. And I saw a crocodile while I was in a boat. There was a crocodile, not in a zoo, just a crocodile chilling.
Wait, you've never seen them like au naturel, like on like
alligators I've seen,
but
not a crocodile.
I mean,
yes, everywhere in Florida and South Carolina you see alligators, but I had never seen it.
And Louisiana.
Yes.
That's where I saw them. That's where I got to hold a baby one. And I looked like the happiest I've ever looked in my life.
I went to Gatorland as a child and held a baby one. Yeah. But so it was cool. Like lots of just wildlife. Food was good. People were good. So people in Costa Rica were so nice. Their food was amazing. Get off the resorts, go to the little towns, eat at the sodas. Those are their like little tiny restaurants where you pay like $8 and you get this enormous meal with rice and beans and meat and maduros and salad. And it was so good.
Nice.
So we definitely enjoyed
that in such a way. Maduros.
My favorite thing actually was something they have with breakfast. It's their rice and beans with breakfast. It's called gallo pinto, and it's the rice and the beans together, but it's like sort of more seasoned and a little more crispy. Like maybe they fry it up a little bit.
Isn't that what mofongo is?
No, mofongo is the mashed plantains.
Oh, okay.
And that's more Puerto Rican or Dominican. And there's a lot of rice and beans together, like throughout that area. Like congri is one of the names. There's another name. Like each country has a different name. But this one's specifically the one that they do with their breakfast. So it was very good.
Nice.
Yum, yum, yum. So that was enjoyable and just relaxing. And I read 3 books, so that's always good.
I did see that on your Goodreads. Tara's read 3 books. I'm like, girl, I just finished one I've been working on for a month and a half.
If I have no one to bother me, it's awesome. It's easy.
Yeah, if I didn't have 10 to 15 reports to write every week, I would have all the time in the world.
Exactly. If we didn't have all these responsibilities.
Yeah. If I just got paid to be pretty and sit around.
Really.
Oh,
something I said or you said made Siri want to talk to me on my phone.
Oh, Siri, be quiet. You're not part of this.
Nope, she didn't respond to you.
It's not all about you, girl.
Oh my goodness. So what have you been up to since we spoke?
What have I been up to? I feel like things.
We had Halloween.
Oh yeah. So Halloween, I was roomie from K-pop Demon Hunters, and I gave out candy at my mom's house, and not 1, not 2, but 4 children recognized me, and one tiny little adorable angel who was dressed as a princess. Cause she was like maybe 3 at max. So I crouched down to let her take candy from the bowl. My mom yelled at me because she wanted me to delegate candy, but I was like, no, I'm doing this. Aww. And she goes to me, are you really roomie?
Aww.
And I was like, I am. Do you want me to sing for you? And my mom's like, come back in here. Because I was ready. I was like, me.
We're going up.
So yeah. So that was Halloween. And then I told you my blef got itis on it, which is just
meaning your lid. Yes,
my eyelid
got
yes. I had severe eyelid itis. My eye was swollen shut for multiple days in a row, which that was when I was so thankful that I wore glasses because it kind of hid the grossness, so I could go to work and people didn't think I was full of infection,
right?
And contagious, which it's not contagious.
No, but, it's just irritation, inflammation.
Yeah, it took quite some time to get into an actual doctor. I went to urgent care, and that really didn't do much.
No.
What else happened? My blef, my costume. I feel like something else happened.
Would you do first week of November?
First week of November. Let me consult my calendar. First week of November. I know I was supposed to go to 2 different wine festivals and didn't go to any. First week of November. It was election day, so that was a thing.
Yes.
But we showed up and we showed out, so that was good. Got my nails did.
Cute. Oh, I see. It's very fall. I know. I got to go this weekend to get mine done.
It's orange jelly cat eye. Then the following week was Veterans Day. Thank you all for your service.
Yes.
And then today I found out that my furnace might be breaking.
So. Just in time for the cold weather.
Exactly. I mean, it's working for now, but there's been some issues.
Wasn't there an air conditioning thing this summer? I feel like
the air was replaced. And honestly, I was talking with my mom about it. I should have had the whole system replaced.
Just done it at the same time.
Because they're both were probably installed at the same time. So one was dying, the other. It's okay for now. I have heat as of right now. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's sad and scary if you run out of heat. So
other than that, I just planned a bunch of episodes for next year.
I know, you're ahead of the game. I'm behind.
On a roll. And strangely enough, of basically I planned out through the end of March, 2 or 3 of those things were things that I'd seen and done a while ago and just kind of forgot about. And then I was scrolling and thinking, I was like, oh wait, I should do this. Oh wait, I should do this.
Good. Inspiration. Yeah. I like it. So. It is necessary. I'm going to take the horn out of my drink because trying to drink it in there was quite precarious. So here's my...
So many comments I could make right now, but I'm just going to nod and smile.
FYI, anyone though who does want those twirly lollipops, not in bulk, Five Below has them single. Because otherwise, if you go on anywhere online, it's do you want 500 of these? I'm like, no, I want one.
Well, that's Five Below. When I bought the food safe syringes, I now have 79 of them at my house. But,
Exactly. You can't buy anything not in bulk. And the party stores, because of Amazon, a lot of places don't carry certain things like that because, you don't need to. You just order it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we have crazy things. So that was a unicorn horn, that large bulbous thing.
Go on. I'm being very good right now.
All right. So my drink is called the Loco Unicorn. I don't know. I feel like all of my drinks and my links and things kept getting lost and changed, but this is Loco Unicorn cocktail.
Okay, Dr. Seuss. My links and drinks. Your
So
fox and socks. Okay.
the ingredients are 6 ounces of coconut water. So we're not having to use the coconut cream, which is nice. So your drink isn't chunky. 2 ounces of a coconut liqueur. It could be Malibu, Rum Haven, or 99 coconuts. I got little single ones of Malibu because I was like, I don't need a whole bottle. That was nice. 1/4 ounce of grenadine, 1/4 ounce of blue curacao, and then I did pink pomegranate sugar on the rim, but you could do some sort of a purple glitter on the rim. I felt like that was going to be too messy. And then a unicorn lollipop. So you rim your glass with the sugar or the glitter. And
so
then
many
you fill
inappropriate thoughts.
I
know we've talked about rimming glasses before, but just now.
Well, it's because of the way that this
because of the phallic shape of the lollipop.
Phallic
now I'm
lollipop
thinking about
looks. I know.
Drops.
So you rim your glass, you've put some ice in there, and then you put the coconut water and the coconut liqueur, and you just stir that with a long spoon. And then you slowly drizzle your grenadine so it settles at the bottom. So that part settled nicely. Then you're supposed to slowly drizzle or gently pour your blue curacao to let it sit so it layers. It kind of mixed a little more than I wanted it to. And then you garnish with your unicorn horn lollipop. And it's actually super, as you would expect, coconut, and I guess blue curacao is like an orange flavor, so it's very tropical. And I did
blue curacao is orange?
I believe so, yeah.
I had no idea.
It's because that's why I think I can do it. I always thought it was gonna be like blue raspberry, and I'm not a fan of blue raspberry. But then once we started making drinks, I realized that it's okay because it's not blue raspberry. And I did add some edible glitter to the coconut water and the rum in the beginning. So there is some just silver glitter in there, but it's really hard to see on camera. And we'll see. I took a picture. My youngest child was trying to show me how to take better pictures of my drinks. She was like, Mom, hold this. It'll adjust the lighting. And I was like, I didn't know that.
These youngins teaching us everything.
I know. Seriously. All right. So I know that what I'm going to talk about, you saw this movie, right?
I did. And we didn't even kind of consult about it. I just randomly, it was on is it Netflix? It was randomly on my queue.
It is now currently on Netflix, but I think first it was on HBO, I believe.
Either way, I watched it somewhere. It was on my queue. Being 1,000% honest, the only reason I wanted to watch it was for Paul Rudd.
Yes.
And I was not disappointed. He is a treasure. Love him.
Paul,
if you're listening. Yes, Paul, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on to talk about your body of work or just your body.
And you know what? We just talked about Clueless in the last call, and
we did.
That's when I first remember seeing him was in Clueless.
And he looks the same, if not younger.
Pretty much. He actually looks better now, I think, somehow. I don't know how that happens.
He looks more mature. I wouldn't say older. He just looks
right, a little
grown.
Just more handsome. He had a little bit of baby face back then. So yes, the movie is Death of a Unicorn, starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. I actually watched it on a plane back in August, and my hairdresser, which I'm always shouting out, so I hope she's listening all the time. We've chatted about the podcast, but she's the one who told me, she's like, you got to watch this. So I watched it on a plane, and it was out there. So we're going to go through it. It's a 2025 film by, I guess, A24 must be the people who make it. I don't know. I wrote that.
They're a movie studio. I've heard about other films. Of course, none of them are coming to mind, but they're a movie studio, like those other places we've heard about.
Got it. So it is considered a dark fantasy / comedy horror. It's directed by Alex Sharfman, and apparently it's his debut. Well, his or her. Alex could go either way. Debut director.
That's a name.
Other people.
Says Peniston.
Yeah, it says exactly. But other people in this, Taya Leone, who we've also talked about before. Yes. So she's in this. Will Poulter and Richard E. Grant.
I love Will Poulter.
It came out in March of this year. Apparently had mixed reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, 53%. It is something that it pulls you in both directions because you just don't know what you're watching.
I kept waiting for it to be more spoofy than it was. It's always
it's serious,
teetering on the edge of comedy, but not.
Right. I guess it's a dark horror comedy, apparently.
Yeah, but there's definitely some scenes where I'm kind of expecting them to look at the camera and be like, "What the hell," But it's
right.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting tale.
But it kept me engaged the entire time. So that says something. So the premise is that this Elliot Kinter, who's played by Paul Rudd, and his teenage daughter, Ridley, I wonder if she's named after Ridley from Alien.
She is now.
Yeah. They're driving to the remote mountain estate of Elliot's boss. His boss's name is Odell Leopold, and he's a wealthy and dying corporate figure. And on the road, the father's, his allergies are bothering him. He's rubbing his eyes. They kind of like build that up throughout the car ride. And the daughter, she's just kind of like grumpy, doesn't want to be there. Very like dark, emo, teenager, moody thing going on.
Classic Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, that's kind of, she's
that's her typecasting.
It is.
We're okay with that.
We love her. So on the road, Elliot like has this big sneeze and it causes him to swerve and strike something in the road that looks, at least at the first moment you see it, to be a unicorn. So they get out of the car and Ridley approaches the injured creature and she touches its glowing horn and she experiences like this vivid psychedelic vision until the father decides, well, this is a mercy killing. This thing's going to sit here on the road suffering. He bludgeons it to death with a tire iron.
Not exactly mercy, but I see where you're going.
I mean,
I watched the film. I understand.
The theory was like, I'm not going to let this thing suffer. Let me kill it. But you're like, he's like, Like,
it wasn't a quick and easy death.
No. So for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why they made this choice, that they put it in their car, right? Like, why? Why didn't they just leave it there?
Or like at least drag it to like the side of the road.
It was very strange. So they packed this unicorn into their trunk.
They were like, is this real?
Right. I guess.
And then it comes up later that it's something about how they kill it on his boss's land. So maybe it's something about where it took place.
Well, the whole thing is they don't really know. Like they just know they have this thing.
Right, but like he's going up to see his boss, and doesn't his boss like own all that acreage around there? So maybe that was some of the reasoning.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. So they arrive at the estate with the unicorn hidden in their vehicle, and Ridley notices that the unicorn's blood had cleared her acne, and the father, all of a sudden, his allergies are gone, and his vision is like 20/20. He takes off his glasses because he realizes, like, I can see, I don't need these anymore. So eventually the Leopolds, they discover the unicorn is still alive in the car because I think it's in the garage or something, and it starts like banging around in the car, and their assistant then shoots it. So this thing is now being killed twice. And so go back a little bit, the Leopolds run a very large pharmaceutical company, and the father is the old man is dying. So that of course is going to come into play here. So Odell realizes the unicorn's remains possess supernatural healing properties and tasks the scientists that work for him, Dr. Song and Dr. Bhatia, to grind the horn and make a serum that cures Odell's cancer. So, they're doing all these experiments, they're grinding up the horn. And while this is going on, it's not really showing in my outline, but there's the obnoxious son who's like this like boy who's gotten everything in life, doesn't really know how to be successful on his own, but like at this point is probably going to end up having to take over his father's business. He's always like being obnoxious and butting in and trying to be involved in everything. And then Ridley starts to sort of decide she's going to research on the computer like more about unicorns. So she's a little bit familiar with unicorn lore because of the medieval tapestries. So that's interesting, is those are real. Like that's based on a real thing. Like you recognize those, right? The tapestries that she was showing.
It looked like things I've seen like in books or in a museum or something.
Yeah. So there are real famous medieval tapestries called the unicorn tapestries. And essentially she researches and reads up on it. And there's, the tapestries tell a story basically that's warning them of what's going to happen if they continue to take advantage of or kill the unicorn. So then we realize, this is just a baby unicorn. This is not a big unicorn. We find out.
I mean, he's a big sucker, but learn.
Then we find out that there are bigger unicorns. And these aren't like just pretty standing there beautiful. These are like muscular.
Yes. They're like, you think of like a horse and then you think of like a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, on steroids. Yeah. So the unicorn's parents are revealed as powerful and deadly supernatural protectors. They appear and begin hunting down all of the humans involved. Multiple characters, including Odell and some of the researchers, are violently killed as the parents seek vengeance. And I sort of skipped over this middle part where once they discover that this stuff is magical, they're literally like on the horn trying to sell it to the highest bidder. They're having all like
pun intended on the horn.
On the horn. Not intended, but very good on my part, not thinking that. So yeah, they're calling all their famous friends. We got this stuff. You want us to ship it to you? How much? How much are you going to pay? So they're trying to give it what they have out to all of their famous friends. And then eventually, I guess, then develop into something, a real pharmaceutical. But at first you kind of think about the secret of how like that upper echelon works, right? Mm-hmm. How they can get access to these things before they are, available to the public.
Like the Illuminati.
Exactly.
They have their own unicorns.
Secret society of unicorn horn magical
enthusiasts.
Yes. Good. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. No problem.
I enjoy you finishing my sentences. It helps. So basically at some point, Elliot lures one of the unicorns away so Ridley can escape. And then at a critical moment, Shepard, who's the obnoxious son, confronts Ridley with an arrow, only to discover that unicorns are docile toward a pure-hearted maiden. So it's kind of, funny or ironic or whatever it is that she's like this sullen, like teenager, but she's the most pure-hearted of everybody there because she's not out for any gain. She just really wants the right thing to happen.
Well, and I like how they went that route instead of like the old-timey, like the virgin.
Right. They didn't say, virgin. They just said pure-hearted. And so it's funny because she sort of unwittingly embodies that, not really realizing it. So she calms the unicorns, and in the ensuing chaos, Elliot stabs Shepard, the son, fatally with a unicorn horn, only to be stabbed himself. The parent unicorns then heal Elliot and revive the foal before they depart. So you're like, all right, all the excitement is over. Right. Well, that's what you think. You're like, all right, we saved the day. Unicorns are alive. Bad, evil, rich people are dead. Good. So Ridley and Elliot are wounded, grief-stricken. They're arrested by the police because there's all these dead people around. And as they're being driven away in the cop car, the unicorns return and ram the police car off a lakeside road, implying like supernatural intervention even after death. And then in the closing credits, the medieval-style tapestry reveals depicting the Rocky Mountains like that they were driving through, the unicorn family, death scenes, and the police car crash, sort of like blurring myth and reality. So it's a wild ride. Even though we're telling you the whole story, I would still watch it because the actors are great. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was an amusing watch. I mean, I started it and then stopped it, but like I've done that before and then never went back, but I like immediately went back when I had the chance and was like locked in again. It was good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
This one, I didn't get to watch the last like 15 minutes on the plane. And when I came home, I found out luckily it was on HBO and I was able to watch the last few minutes because like, no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched it on Netflix because it was like maybe in like September.
Yeah, because it's on Netflix for sure.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to talk about with unicorns and healing cancer, right? I mean, I've discovered
We're going to talk about if unicorns actually fart glitter and rainbows. Is the answer no?
I'm not a unicornologist. I'm not a mythical creature specialist.
So I guess the main question is the unicorn a type of horse?
Right. Are they a horse?
Are they equine?
Right. So,
your Wikipedia page didn't tell you?
I mean, mystical beings aren't quite the most factual thing that we can find.
I guess technically it's a cryptid.
It is a cryptid, true. And then what is it called? When they have wings, they're called
Pegasus.
But no, when they have wings and a horn, I think they're called alicorns. I believe when they have both. Pegasus is just wings. Unicorn is just horn. And I think when it's both, it's an alicorn. And that's coming from my children. So,
and then if it is orange and white, then it is a candy corn. You didn't see that coming?
Our old man humor, our dad jokes.
I mean, you left it open to me. I mean, the only other thing I know with a single horn is not mythical, and it's a narwhal.
Well, and a rhinoceros.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Well, they have one, and then they have like a smaller one.
So
actually,
my quick Google search tells me that unicorns used to be depicted as either a horse or a goat-like animal. So there you go.
The horses are much prettier.
They are. Oh, it's a bovine. Sorry.
Bovine. So basically, I wanted to talk about the theories throughout history of unicorns and health, because that's actually something that comes from real people believing that unicorn horns are going to cure everything. So it starts in 4th century BCE through 1st century CE. So we're talking like way back in the day. Cestius, who's a Greek physician at 400 BCE, has the first known written description of a unicorn in Indica. It says, a wild ass in India with a single horn, red, white, black in color. That was their description. And it
so many questions. You said Indica, so I'm thinking Indicouch. And then you said it's an ass.
Yes, it is.
You're really trying to set me off today, aren't you?
I am. I'm like setting the
there.
Jokes up for you, like handing them to you.
Oh, but I did find an alicorn is just what we call the horn itself.
Oh, well, find out what a unicorn with wings is called.
I told you, a Pegasus.
No, that's a horse with wings and without a horn. There's a combo here.
Unicorn with wings called a pegacorn.
Oh, there we go. See?
So it says it can be called an alicorn, but the alicorn is specifically what we call just the singular horn.
Horn. Okay.
Yes. A pegacorn.
A pegacorn. So this guy,
or a unipeg. I'm not making this up.
Unipeg. I'm a peg? Unipeg. Really? I don't know where we are, who we are, what we're doing, but I like it. So Cestius, I can't pronounce his name, but he said its horn could make cups immune to poison. So it's the earliest record of the medicinal antidote belief. And this is something that definitely carries through, that they could remove poison with unicorn horn. Pliny the Elder. Have you ever heard of him?
I have. I don't know why, but I definitely have heard about him.
He's kind of
I never hear about the younger, though.
No, he's kind of a famous old-timey doctor, or before doctors were doctors, healer, whatever we want to call him, medicine man. I hear him all the time. If you listen to Sawbones podcast, which is, I think, the first podcast I ever listened to, like, ever. And they're always talking about it because their thing is the history of medicine. So Pliny comes up with his theories all the time back in the day. So he was 1st century CE. And in natural history, he described a fierce horse-like beast with a horn. And the horn is believed to grant strength and ward off disease. And so, of course, these may have been distorted accounts of real animals, like an rhinoceros, an oryx, or an antelope. So those are all other things that have horns.
What's an oryx? Sorry.
I don't know. I think, is it one with
an animal?
Curly, wait, does it have a curly horn?
I don't know. I mean,
you can Google pictures while I'm looking.
All I know with horns are narwhals. And
yes,
that's from Elf. Thank you.
So through the Middle Ages, Islamic and Persian influence, there's writing on mythical creatures. And they kept the idea alive in the medieval Islamic world. And then in Christian Europe, the unicorn became a powerful allegory. So it was a symbol of purity, chastity, and of Christ himself. And it was basically tamed only by a virgin. So that is sort of that myth right there, the virgin. Medieval bestiaries, which are animal encyclopedias. Don't get anything else in your head.
I just made a face. I'm glad you defined it for me. I mean, when you said eary, I was thinking like an aviary or like...
Right. So yes,
like
they described unicorn horn as a divine gift against corruption, sin, and sickness. And then by the 12th to 14th centuries, unicorns became a staple in courtly art, the tapestries, and religious iconography, linking purity
iconography.
And healing. There you go. Emphasis on the wrong syllable. Linking purity and healing. So now here it says how the alicorn is the horn. See, you taught me before I taught you. The alicorn.
No, I just scrolled down further on the same page that you're on.
The alicorn, the unicorn horn, is a symbol of power. So alicorn is a Latin term, alicornus, and it was considered more than a medicine. It was a status symbol. So royals would display entire horns as treasures. So sort of like mounting, a deer head on your wall. Idea was like a big horn mounted. A single alicorn could be worth more than its weight in gold.
Well, that's like elephant tusks and ivory are very, very valuable.
Exactly. So very similar.
Well, walrus, I forgot about. I was trying to think of other horned
all the
animals.
Horned things. So the belief that the horn was so powerful it could protect entire kingdoms from poisoning or plague, which is interesting. Famous examples were Danish kings built coronation thrones from narwhal tusks, but they believed them to be unicorn horns. And the Habsburgs, which I think I'm going to cover the Habsburg chin at some point. They displayed
I know nothing about that, so please do.
Okay. They displayed a massive unicorn horn in Vienna's. There's a name to this museum that I don't think I can spell. I can read.
I was going to say, you can't spell it, but you're looking at it. Spell it for me.
Thistoroches. Cunstisthorishes. That's the name of the museum.
Is it on Vienna. The Wikipedia page?
I don't remember which thing it's in because I have mine in outline form.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the museum that the Habsburg had the massive unicorn horn. Everything is unicorn horn in quotes because they're all like narwhal horns or whatever.
A narwhal is just a sea unicorn.
It is. I mean, narwhals are something that you feel like shouldn't be real, right? Like,
yeah, but they are.
Right, they are. So why not have? I mean, a horse with a horn doesn't seem that weird of a thing to come up with.
Or maybe it was just like a slender rhinoceros.
Very slender. He was on a diet. He was like
skinny rhinoceros. It tracks to me.
So, basically they felt it was an antidote to poison. So the symbol of incorruptibility, triumph over evil. They felt that it was cleansing water, so the horn dipped in wells were seen as purifying, echoing baptismal symbolism. And then, we've mentioned the humors before. You always got to throw the humors in there.
Of course.
So in Galenic medicine, alicorn powders were thought to rebalance the body's elements, like hot, cold, wet, or dry. And then as far as a spiritual end of things, the horn symbolized not just bodily healing, but moral and spiritual purification, back to that virgin shit.
Tell us how you really feel about virgins.
So basically it's, they were taking real objects that fuel the myth. So narwhal tusks were huge. They were brought by Viking traders and then sold to all the rich people in the rest of Europe as unicorn horns. So those Vikings were like swindlers, but hey, they were making a buck. I mean, don't kill narwhals. Hopefully they just chopped off the horn and didn't kill them. Unless they ate all of the stuff and used the fat. And I guess that's kind of like whaling for indigenous cultures, I guess, if you take it that way. But you know what I mean? Don't go just killing them for the tusks, which is what they would do to rhinoceroses.
And elephants.
So right. So rhinoceros horns, they were used in Asian medicine, which we know that. And they were the same thing conflated with unicorn lore. And then fossils and sea unicorns, fish bones, were misidentified as unicorn relics. So the symbolism persisted even though the animal never existed, and proof of how powerful myth can basically shape your medical practice at that time. By the Middle Ages, unicorn horns weren't just symbolic. They were sold to apothecaries, prescribed by physicians, ingested by the wealthy. So it became part of true healing. So it's quite an interesting journey. The unicorn, this non-existent mythical creature, went on.
I went down a rabbit hole of looking up famous horses.
I'm sure there's a lot of race horses, I guess, right?
No, these are like Pegasus, Trojan horse.
Oh, that kind of famous horse. I meant like real horses that exist. Well, yeah.
The Trojan horse was real.
Yeah, true. But not alive. So basically, the famous thing, cure-alls cure nothing, right? So it was a cure-all. So basically you could get this powdered stuff and it was going to prolong your life, save you from poison, make you pure, protect you from all diseases. Most famously, they use, as we said, neutralizing poison. They had goblets that they made out of the unicorn horn so that if they felt that if the whatever drink was inside had poison in it, that the actual goblet would either crack or like it would sweat on the surface. Or they would give a powder that was prescribed after a suspected poisoning, and it was called Ambroise Paré. I don't know. Is that French, I assume? Ambroise.
Mm-hmm.
Pare.
No, you said it right.
Thing at the end. What does it mean?
I'm trying to think of.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know. And I feel like I should know, but I don't.
It's okay. You don't know all the French.
I don't know all the French, but I do know that Falcor is a luck dragon. Because I was like, he's not a unicorn.
He is not a unicorn. He is a luck dragon. And
sorry.
Let's not
We've talked about Falcor a lot on this podcast.
The never-ending story is like PTSD for every single person who lived through that time. So during the plagues, it was a big deal. So during the 17th and 18th centuries, basically they said, well, unicorn horn is going to heal the plague. Of course it is. So they would powder it, grind it and mix it with wine or water to prevent you from getting the plague. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. The plague was really bad.
Shut your dirty mouth. Of course it worked.
And they used it for headaches, fevers, stomach cramps, epilepsy. You got seizures, a little powdered unicorn. Melancholy, because we're all little
and the
melancholy.
Infinite sadness.
And snake bites and rabies. I mean, rabies we did an episode on this. It's universally fatal. So I'm pretty sure that one definitely didn't work.
But it wasn't killing you. The ground up unicorn horn wasn't killing you any
No,
faster.
But it wasn't saving you either.
You know what? There's a lot of things like that don't kill you, but don't save you either.
True. And they would even use the ground up stuff and put it in wounds to help heal wounds.
So maybe you said it and I was too busy falling down many Wikipedia rabbit holes, but what are they assuming that this horn is made out of?
They don't know. It's just magical and that's it.
So they're not saying it's like ivory with some other element that is,
So, it's kind of like any of the things of that time. They were like, mix these herbs with this and it's going to cure this, and mix, the dung of this beetle and put it on your wound. I mean, they just kind of guessed.
Okay, fair. Well, I didn't know if they were like saying like this is what's in it, so this is what's going to help.
This is kind of before that point in time where science really took that step back to figure out the why. It's definitely prior to that, where it was just like, we tried this, it works or it doesn't work, and that kind of, you would continue using it if it worked consistently, and you would stop using it. Even like with quinine, how they sort of thought it worked for 1,000 different things, but it actually did work for malaria, back to the flu episode 1. So
I mean, that's how like half the stuff we used is we found out by accident. We thought it was for one thing and it fixed another thing.
I mean, yes. I mean, even more modern drugs like the GLP-1s we talked about were for diabetes, and then it had a happy accident that they made you lose weight, and then boom.
Or erectile dysfunction drugs were a heart drug. So
yes, that was for pulmonary hypertension, and then they realized it helped some other stuff. Or minoxidil, which is technically was a blood pressure medicine. Yeah. Helps with your hair. So there's definitely accidental things, but now we know how to go back and figure out the why. Yeah. Whereas back then they kind of were like, okay, cool, smear some unicorn something on you and you're fixed.
So maybe you're going to talk about this, maybe you're not, and that's fine. But is it just the horn of the unicorn that was valuable, or all of the parts?
Just the horn, because I mean, they were coming back with just the horns from the narwhals. The Vikings were bringing them back, and then people from Asia were bringing rhino horns. They were just showing up with a horn and selling them to the highest bidder.
Okay, fair.
They used to actually use fragments of the horn to add to wells to detoxify the water, and we mentioned before, hanging them in your home would protect you. Queen Elizabeth I paid 10,000 pounds, I guess, for one. A price of a castle. Yes, there was no euros back then, so that's why I was like, pounds. For one, which back then was the price of a castle. So she essentially spent the amount of money.
She's got like 17 castles. I think she was okay.
And even the Pope would drink from unicorn cups to prevent poisoning. And they would have scepters and staffs that were tipped with unicorn horns.
I just find stuff like that fascinating because I don't know about you, but I remember like rule number 1 of Christianity, do not worship false gods.
Right.
So what is that all about?
Right. We're not worshiping it. We're just, using a little bit of its extra power.
I just remember because in 5th grade, when I first started Catholic school, I got in trouble for having troll dolls because I was worshiping false gods.
Gosh, troll.
Yes. And I wasn't allowed to bring my trolls to school anymore.
Troll dolls were like Labubu's right? Like they were like
No,
a
Labubus
thing.
are better.
You had to have them. There were different ones.
People still bring them to bingo.
They were kind of ugly, but they were cute at the same time. Like,
and they're naked, which is bizarre. I mean, Labubus are technically naked too, but we can buy clothes for them.
Right. Oh, and they have fur, so at least their
genitalia is covered. Guess what?
What?
Trolls didn't have genitalia, so you're fine.
True. But they were a little bizarro.
What is happening right now? I think we both drank some unicorn horn.
I think so. It's the sparkles are going to my brain.
Yeah.
So basically, they finally had a little bit of skepticism in scientific testing. So the Royal Society in 1661, they did an experiment with powdered horn, and it did nothing to spiders. So they debunked that it killed or scared away spiders, I guess.
Why are we trying to hurt the spiders?
I'm not really sure, but at least they were trying to do some sort of logical testing. And then that Ambroise Paré that we mentioned before, it was noted that it was ineffective in poison trials. So I think they like really gave people poison.
I mean,
and then
I
here's
don't
a
know
little
a
unicorn in your poison. You get poison without unicorn. Let's see who dies.
I don't know a whole lot about antidotes, and maybe you could do an episode on that. But isn't it usually just a smaller dose of the actual poison?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
I think
not
that
always.
sounds. Yeah,
that's more like a vaccine is a smaller dose,
right? Yes,
okay.
Yes, that's a little different. Well, you're
I
thinking
guess it depends on what it is.
Well, you're thinking of like someone building up a tolerance. Isn't there something famous about putting it on their lips and getting used to it after a long time?
Isn't it bee venom? Something about bee venom is coming to mind.
Famous woman in history or fiction,
Elizabeth Bathory, who bathed in people's blood,
who got themselves used to having the poison on their lips, like slowly. And then eventually, like, it was like the kiss of death. I don't know where that's coming from in my brain, whether it was actual
poison
history.
ivy for Comic-Con.
Well, there you go. But it's that concept of, or in The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Remember the guy, what's that actor?
Inigo Montoya.
No, but the other guy, the little guy. And he's the one who,
what is his name?
You know who you like that. And they played the cups game, and he they
both
back
had poison
and
in
forth.
it.
Yeah, he's like, but for how many years I made myself tolerant to it.
Yeah. So I wasn't totally off. It was just not what you're talking about. Sorry.
Right. So despite evidence, the belief continued to linger for well into the 18th century because wealth and prestige kept the demand alive. You know, the rich people are like, I want my unicorn horn, which probably sadly made a lot of, like I said, narwhals and rhinoceroses get killed.
But back
Is it
then they didn't really...
or rhinoceri?
Rhinoceri? I don't know. I like rhinoceri. But also, to keep things in context, they didn't really care about animal perpetuity.
Right. And they didn't understand
conservation. So it wasn't a thing.
I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds like there's a helicopter on my house. Why
sounds like
is it so low?
I hear it sort of, but not really.
Yeah, but
it sounded like a toilet flushing.
No, it's like shaking my house. So yeah, the unicorn horn myth was an early example basically of pseudoscience, just like now where my patients come in like, I read that if you eat this, it's going to cure cancer. And I'm like, well, you could eat that, but it's not going to cure cancer. Modern parallels are like all these supplements, wellness trends, and, basically evidence-based medicine. We have the science now. So let's leave it at that.
Do you ever wonder, though, like this whole trend towards evidence-based science, evidence-based psychology and things like that? I understand where it comes from, but do you think there'll ever be like a transition from that? Because obviously we weren't always there.
Meaning more like...
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like evidence-based, we're doing it, one, because insurance companies will pay for it. But also it's like we have measurable outcomes. But do you ever feel like there'll be some sort of transition about what a measurable outcome is? You know what I mean? Like this constant evolution of changing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I really try my best. And I think you are in a similar circumstance where I use my knowledge and the evidence-based things, but I still take a personal approach to the person. So it's not just a protocol or a script, but it is tailored to that person and developing a trust and relationship. So that's why I think AI and machines can't take over our jobs, because there's a nuance to this that I don't think a non-human could do. So I think that's the piece that, is there is a little intuition, we'll say, involved.
Oh, definitely.
And a little feeling a person and what they will respond to from you.
Well, and I'm sure like you see it too. I think it happens more in my field, but in a lot of psychological disorders, when we're doing a differential, some of it is more of the quality of it. It's like you might have the same symptom here and here, but the quality of the symptom makes you lean towards one way of diagnosis versus another.
Right.
So perfect example I literally talked with patients about twice today is difficulty with attention and focus. It can have the quality of ADHD, but it can also have the quality of depression or anxiety.
Yes.
And so it's like that qualitative part is more practice, talking with the person, understanding this nuance that isn't evidence-based because they're both the same symptom.
I agree. Yeah. But that's it. That's the human touch, and that's us developing our craft sort of. So yeah, I don't think we'll be able to move beyond that. But I think at least now we have enough information. You know, when a patient comes and be like, I heard that statins are bad for you. And I'm like, well, actually, this is probably the most studied drug in all of history. Mm-hmm. We have so much safety data. We have so much proof that it prevents you from having a heart attack or stroke that I absolutely feel confident. Like, so that's my evidence-based right there, you know, things like that. Like I understand, like I have to break it down for them. That's our job, to be the go-between between the science and the person, you know, we're like the translator.
I'm smiling because I had a woman like probably after we last talked who was like, well, I don't think this statin is working. So I'm just going to start taking it. And I'm a psychologist. So I'm just like, okay, number one, no, I didn't tell you that. Two, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
please.
I don't want you to go home and be like, well, my doctor says I have anxiety. I don't need a statin. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-mm. I'm staying in my lane, but also like there's dangers to stopping stuff too.
Right.
So like, talk to your prescriber. Please don't do that.
Yes, please.
I get it if you feel like it's not working, but talk with your prescriber.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So unicorns, myth, magic, who knows?
Both.
But if you kill one, they will come back to life, and then their parents will come and stalk you. So
as they should. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I think that's a lesson we all can learn. You know, don't kill random animals. And
I mean, I want to know more about like actual unicorns. Like, how large is a unicorn litter? Do they only give birth to one at a time? Like,
how long do they live? Horse rules as far as the birthing. Horse
so
rules.
One at a time, right?
Yeah, I think that's one, maybe max two, but probably always one. Kind of like humans. How long they live, they got to be magical, so they got to live a long time.
They got to be magical, so they're immortal.
Are they immortal?
And do they all fly? Because don't they fly at the end of this movie? Like without wings, I mean.
I don't remember them flying. I just remember them crashing into the car and it ends. Sort of.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm just making up in my head that they like crashed into the car and then like kind of like leapt off the cliff but didn't like fall. Maybe it was just like a big leap.
A very, very large leap.
Yeah. Who knows? They got them big old leg muscles. So.
Yes, they were very muscular. All right. So thank you everyone who stayed along for all the craziness. Hopefully this was a fun episode, a little educational, a lot more fun.
Shenanigans.
I'll take it. All right. So thank you for listening to Medical Media Mixer.
The perfect cocktail. Cheers.
Cheers.
I drank my drink. It's empty.
I'm going to poop glitter.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Medical Media Mixer podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps others find the show. Want to keep the conversation going? Follow us on social media. We're at Medical Media Mixer Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and on Pinterest, the Medical Media Mixer board.
If you'd like to support the show and help us grow, check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. And on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. If you have a topic idea, feedback, or just want to say hi, send us an email at medicalmediamixer@gmail.com. You can also stream all of our episodes and find more info on our website, medicalmediamixer.podbean.com. We're available on all major podcast platforms, so no matter where you listen, we're there. Thanks again for listening. And until next time, keep mixing medicine and media.